A lot of people are making thousands of dollars by simply creating simple planners and selling it on Amazon KDP. Now, if you look at my screen right now, if you look at this journal, you can see that this journal has gotten over 700 purchase reviews. And in the last month, this journal has been bought over 400 times. And of course, if you do the maths, you can see that this particular journal alone has generated over $3,600 in a single month. Now, in this video, I'm going to be showing you step by step how you can create planners like this super easily, even as a total beginner, and have it start selling on Amazon KDP. Now, there are quite a number of niches under the planner genre. You can see there's also budget planner, there's an academic planner and the like. But if you are choosing to go for yearly planners, you want to do for like 2-3 years ahead. So you can do 2025, 2026, depending on when you are seeing this video. So you can see this is for 2025 to 2026. You can see this is 2025 to 2026. If you should scroll up, you can see another example, which is just another version of one of the planners that we saw earlier, which is 2025 to 2027. Now, a lot of the planner books we see here are within the dimension of 8.5 by 8.5 or 8.5 by 11 inches. So for this video, we are going to be utilizing the 8.5 inches by 11 inches for the creation of our planner. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to go to Amazon KDP Health Topics, under which you want to go to book formatting. You want to go to format your paperback and go towards the set, trim size, bleed, and margin. Now, these are key terms that you can familiarize yourself with, and Amazon has given a detailed description of it. Now, for our planner, we are not going to be using bleed. Now, what is bleed? Bleed is simply a printing term that refers to when printed objects on a page, such as images, background color, or graphics, extend past where the publication will be trimmed. So if you scroll down a little, you would see a very good example of a book with bleed and a book without bleed. So this left-hand side is a book without bleed, and this right-hand side is a book with bleed. And you can see how the images extend all the way. However, for planners, we're not going to really be using images which would need to extend all the way. So we are not going to make use of bleed. So now for the page size, you can see page size with bleed, without bleed. If you are using bleed, probably you are creating any book at all, and you're going to be using bleed, you want to check for the corresponding page size for bleed. However, since we are not using bleed, our page size will remain the same, which is 8.5 by 11 inches. Now, typically, most planners fall between the page count of 24 to 150 pages. So this will be our inside gutter margin, and this would be our outside margin. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to Canva in order to set our page size. So we're going to click on this plus icon here. We're going to choose custom size, and Canva is going to give us this drop down where we can customize our width and height of our page. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to change the units to inches, because the units is automatically always at pixels. So you want to change that. Now, for our width, remember our page size remains the same as our dimension, which is 8.5 by 11 inches. And we're just going to go ahead and create a new design. So now our page is ready. What we want to do is we want to start creating our margins. Now, I already have my margins showing on my screen. However, if yours is not on your screen, what you want to do is you want to click the file. You want to click on settings, and you want to just simply click show rulers and guide, or alternatively, you can use Shift plus R. So now, just like we said, we're going to do our inside gutter margin, and this is our inside gutter margin, while all this here are our outside gutter margin. So our inside gutter margin is 0.375, and we're just going to zoom it in and pull it all the way. So we may not get the exact number. However, we want to use something closest to, and it is better above than lesser. So now this is for our inside gutter margin, because this is the side that will be inside our book, while the external side are our gutter margin. And for our outside gutter margin, we have 0.25. So what we are going to do is we are going to pull this all the way down, and you can see we have gotten something closest to it. So since we are using this particular margin for all the other three sides, we can simply take an element. So you want to use a square shape. Now, what you want to do is you want to scroll all the way and ensure that this shape fits into this. So of course, the shape is a rectangle, so we can just reduce that here. And what we're going to do is we can duplicate it. bring it all the way down, then we can draw our margins here. We have no need for this, so we are going to delete this. We are also going to take this and we can simply rotate it so that it can be a straight line. And we're going to put it closer here and draw it all the way down here. And if you zoom it in, you can see it's a perfect fit. And since we have no use for it again, we're going to delete it. Now, what we are going to do is we want to start creating our planners. And what we can do is we want to impute more like calendars and a little bit of other things, ranging from goal tracking, daily, weekly goals, and some notes, stuff like that, just so that, our planner is really detailed. So one easy way to do that is you can go to Canva. Canva has a lot of designs and you just want to start building up your planner. So we can first of all start with 2025 calendar because we want to use it for our first page. So we can click on this and we want to click on apply. Now this is a pro feature. Any feature you see crown is a pro feature. However, if you are new to Canva, Canva offers a free 30-day trial to be able to use the pro features, and that way you'll be able to have access to all of the pro features. Alternatively, you can also look for free templates. Canva also has quite a ton of free templates that you can use. So I'm just going to click on apply both pages and it's going to be automatically applied. Now, what we then want to do is we can choose to just adjust a little things because this is on Canva and it is already publicly available to everyone. So we want to add some uniqueness. So first of all, we want to ensure that our background is black and white. We're typically going to be using black and white. And for this, we can just decide to change the font. So I can change it to leaks pattern. So I prefer this. So I have to take this particular page out as I realize that it's just simply the same 2025 duplicated. So we can just have multiple pages of this blank page here. We can do a grid line. So we can simply copy this and duplicate it into more pages. So now that we're done with our 2025 calendar, next thing we're going to do is we want to add our monthly calendars. So what we want to do is we want to go search for 2025 monthly calendar and we can just look at what really resonates with us the most and we can just click here. So we can start adding them one by one. So I'm adding July here. I'm adding August here. So now I'm done adding it all and you can see that it's all in black and white. So again, we can decide to adjust the font. Like I said, this is Canva. And of course, we just want to make sure that we are putting in our own unique creativity into it. So you can decide to add your own creative, like changing the fonts. Probably instead of Baojin, you want to use, let's say, Garrett's. And what you want to simply do is you can just take this. Probably you want to bolden it. So you can copy the star and you can just simply do it for all of the month headers. So I'm just going to go do it for February here. I'm going to copy the star, do it here also. You're going to copy it, go to March, do it, the same thing. Copy the star and also do it here. So I'm going to go and do all of this off camera and we're going to come back and do the next step. So I'm going ahead to do it for all the months and you can see this is looking good. So now the calculation for our page is that we can have the monthly calendar, which is 12, plus the 4 pages per month, which could be ranging from goals, weekly goals, daily goals, notes, and the like. So 4 pages, and that will make it 48 pages. Then we can have the yearly calendar plus the yearly goals, which is like 2 pages. So if we duplicate that for 2 years, if we're doing for like 2025, 2026, that will make it about 100 pages. You can also decide to add more, depends on what you want. So overall, we're going to be working with about 100 pages. So what we want to do next is we want to go and add a few things in between. For example, we can just go and look for weekly planner. So we're going to add a page after the first month, which is January. And we can just simply put our weekly planner here. So let's work with this one here. And you can see we can just change the background color. So now this is white. Next thing we can add is we can add daily planner. So we can move this here and of course impute the daily planner. That being said, we want to change the color to white. Then we can add another one here. And this one can be just for special notes. And now what we want to do is we've done for 1 month. And what we can do is just simply duplicate that for each month. So January has its own, February has its own, March, April, and so on and so forth. So we're going to duplicate this. So we're going to copy these three. We are going to duplicate it and move February here. We're also going to copy again. We're going to duplicate it, and we're going to go ahead to move March here. So this is how we're going to duplicate it for each and every of the months. And I'm just going to go ahead to do that off the camera. So now we have finished populating everything for our planner. I will have done that for the 2 years. So if we scroll all the way down, you can see that our planner is over 100 pages. And what we want to do is we want to click on share. We want to click on download. Now for the file type, we're going to change it to PDF print. We're going to click on flatten PDF, and we're going to click on CMYK, and we're going to download that. By the way, if you are finding this video helpful, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to join the family, and do not forget to smash the notification bell icon so when next I drop a new video, YouTube will notify you first. So now that we have downloaded our interior of our planner, you want to make sure that you take your time when you're doing your planner down to the fonts and everything. You can also add your unique spice to it because, like I said, what is on Canva is public and it's available to everyone. And if you want people to buy your product, then you should have some unique creativity to it. You want to then head to Amazon KDP cover calculator in order to be able to give you the appropriate templates that you will use in creating your book cover. So now you want to choose the binding type, which is paperback, because overall paperback is much more cheaper and of course less cost. The interior type will be black and white. The paper type will be white paper. The reading direction is left to right. The measurement unit is in inches. The interior trim size is 8.5 by 11 inches. The page count is 109. I want to click on calculate dimension. Now, Amazon KDP has given us the exact templates that we are going to be using in creating our book cover, which is for our planners. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on download template. Now, once we click on download template and we've had it downloaded, it will come in a zip file, and the PNG file is what we need, so we can just take that out separately. And next thing we're going to do is we're going to head over to Canva, and we are going to be imputing the dimension that Amazon KDP has given us in creating our page size for our book cover. We go to Canva, we click on add a new design, we click on custom design. Make sure you change the units into inches. For the width, we've copied the width and we're going to just post it in Canva here. And for the height is 11.25 inches, and we're going to create a new design. So now Canva has given us this page size, and what we can do is we want to upload our paperback to Canva. So now we just want to add our paperback to our design. We want to make it to fit the screen. It should be a perfect fit because we use the appropriate size. Now, what we can do is we can reduce the transparency just for us to be able to see what we are going to be designing on top. Now, the purpose for us adding this template is just so that we can be able to see the grid lines where the trim will be done, so that all of our text and all of our designs will be within these pink lines here. So now we can easily go to Canva and just search for patterns. So let's use like floral patterns. You can just say floral patterns, and you can either, of course, leverage on any of this that Canva has given you. However, what I would like to do is just to be creative. So I can make the background black, and we can now have this fitted on it here. Then what we can do is we can just add flowers just to be able to create our own unique design. So let's say I have this blue one here. So I can have this here and just make it small. It all depends on you. It may not be floral designs you may go for. It just totally depends on you. Then I'm just going to add this also here. Then I can add this pattern over it here. I can move it towards the back. And I can also copy it and also post it here. Also, just so that it's more like it duplicates, I can reduce the transparency. So I reduce the transparency of this flowers here to like 51. What we can then do is we can go ahead to add something over it. So let's add like a text. So we can add this here and we can say 2025 to 2026. We can make this bolder. Remember that our background is black, so we may want to make this white. So we want to make this white and we can add a little bit of effect, which we can do with this. Then we can also change the fonts depending on what we want. So I think this is great and we can just zoom this all the way just to make it really bold. We want to make sure you have it as centralized as possible. Then we can then put another text. We just duplicated this and we can write yearly planner. So we may want to reduce the size just so that it can be able to fit onto the screen. And we can also decide to just change this fonts and work with something else. So I'm using this particular fonts and I'm going to try to make it as bold as possible. So we can do that and this is looking great. Then what we can do is we want to add something to the middle just for it to indicate the bridge of the book. So what we can do is we can just take a shape, like a square shape. So we're going to make this color is great and we're just going to increase it here. We don't want to make it too big. So let's zoom this out. So we can reduce the size here. It doesn't have to be too big. However, it should be big enough to cover this bridge line and we can take it all the way down. So you can see this is looking okay and we want to look at it, have another look, ensure that all our designs were cool with it the way it is within the side of the pink lines. I just reduce the size of this a little. Then we can also, of course, reduce the transparency. Let's make it 68 and we can copy that and do that here. Then what we want to do is, since all that is said and done and we're cool with it, we can then have our template deleted as we no longer have a need for it. So now this is how our book is going to look like and it's looking good. It's looking pretty cool. You may want to design yours the way you want. If it's 2025 to 2027, you want to put that there. And once all that is said and done, you want to click on share. You want to click on download. You want to click on file type, change it to PDF print, flatten PDF and download that. So now the next thing we are going to do is we're going to go to amazonkdp.com. You want to create an account, sign up and sign in. And you want to click on create. Once you click on create, it's going to bring you to this part where you want to choose what you would like to create. Since our book is a paperback, we are going to choose a paperback. Now I want to choose language English and our book title is 2025 to 2026 yearly planner. Then our subtitle, we can say whatever, anything that our book reflects. Let's say you can say for goal settings and plans. Then for series, we do not have a series for this. For edition number, we're going to leave it blank because we do not have that. For the author, you can simply put your name or your pen name, depending on whichever. For the author, you can simply put your name or your pen name, whichever you want. So I'm just going to leave it at TFI Designs. We do not have any contributor. And for a description, you may want to write anything that best describes your book. So I've just written a little thing for a description. You may want to write more, be more detailed. You can use ChatGPT if you like. Then we're going to go ahead to the primary audience here. We're going to click on no. And we're going to click on reading age. It's a planner, so literally any age. However, it's more of an adultish thing. So I would say from age 12 to 18 plus. The primary marketplace, you want to leave that as amazon.com. Then you want to choose your categories as applicable to your book, in this case, which is our planner. So since it's a planner and we didn't find any special category that applies to it, I'll just click the non-classifiable here and I'm just going to state. Then, of course, for the keywords, just like I've always stated, you want to look for keywords that people are searching for. So if you go to Amazon and you search for planners, of course, you don't just want to write planners as your keyword because planner is a really broad keyword and there are a lot of really top books that have been on Amazon for a long time that will already be ranking for that. So you want to go for a bit more specific keywords. So let's see planner. You can see planner 2025 to 2026, planner 2025 for women, planner notebook and all of that. So we can just go ahead to write that. So we've written 3 of that. We want to go back to Amazon. We still have planner 2025 for women and we can write that also. So if we click planner 2025 to 2026, we can also click on the search icon and Amazon is also going to still give us a drop down of specific or more specific keywords in relation to that. So you can see Planner 2025 to 2026, everything for this. You can see Planner 2025, 8.5 by 11, which is exactly our book size. And we're just going to take that and put it there also. You can also see that for men, and you can see weekly and monthly, and we also have like a weekly segment, so this is also applicable. So we're going to take this and we're going to take this. So now once we've done that, we're going to click on publication date here. We're going to take this, the release date, release my book for sale now. We're going to save and we are going to continue. Now once that is saved, it's going to bring us to this point. You can click on assign ISBN. If you do not already have one, Amazon is going to give you one, which it has done that already. The print option will be black and white interior. The trim size, we are going to select a different trim size, which is applicable to us, and that is the 8.5 by 11 inches. Then for the bleed settings, no bleed because we did not make use of bleed. The paper cover finish, we're going to make it matte because it's a planner, so it has to look more matured, and matte is usually like the standard finish when it comes to like planners, journals, like that. So the upload manuscript, we're going to upload the interior of our planner. So now we have uploaded our manuscript. We have also uploaded our book cover. And of course, if your book cover has a barcode, you want to tick that, but ours doesn't, meaning that Amazon KDP is going to give us one. So we're going to leave that unchecked. For AI generated content, we're going to tick no because we did not use any AI tool in creating our content. Then we want to launch the previewer. We want to click continue. So now you can see that our book cover is created, and this is really cute. And of course, if you want to scroll all the way, you can see this is how the interior of our planner looks like. And this is actually really great. We want to take a look at it, a deeper look at it. If you are comfortable with how it looks like, that is the whole essence of the quality check. And if that is okay by you, you want to click on approve. So now we want to scroll all the way down and want to click save and continue. So the next thing is you'll be on this page here. So for territories, you want to leave it at all territories worldwide. And if we scroll down here, you want to fix your pricing. So when it comes to your pricing, one reasonable way to be able to fix your pricing is to simply go to Amazon.com and see how much other of your competitors are pricing for their own planners. We can see this is 25 to 2026 is about $5.94. So you want to scroll down, and all that will be able to give you an idea on how to price your planner, especially depending on the value or the extent of things it contains inside of it. Your planners could also contain holidays for the year and all of that. So depending on how much value packed it is, that is how much you may want to set your pricing. So I will just set this one for the sake of this video as 5.99. So you may not want to go all the way low because this is our royalty per every book, meaning if we sell one planner, this is how much we are going to be making. And once you have imputed that, Amazon is going to automatically populate the corresponding pricing for all of these other Amazon sites. And if you want to change that, you can easily just go to each of them and adjust it. However, I wouldn't do that because this is a corresponding figure. Mind you, you can see here that it takes up to 72 hours for your book to be available for purchase on Amazon. So this is so that Amazon can go and vet your book for in case there's any inconsistencies or any issues, whether with regards to bleed or with regards to customer preferences. So you want to ensure that you take your time, you do the needful with the margins, the page size, the dimension, the trim sizes, and all of that. You can also request for a proof of your book just so that you can see how the original copy is going to be looking like when it is sent to your customer. However, you can also still request for this after you have published your book. And you want to simply click on publish your paperback. Once you click on this, your planner will be published and it will be available to Amazon in about 72 hours once they have vetted and confirmed that your book is good for publishing. Now, for this kind of low content books like planners, you may want to create a variety of designs, more styles, different genres. It could be academic planner, it could be weight loss planner, it could be goal planner, yearly planner, whatever it is. You want to create multiple of this because the more of this you have, the higher chances of your revenue because you'll be making revenue and profit from multiple of these books. Now, Planner is a really great way to make money on Amazon KDP. However, there are several other low content books that you can create and start selling as a total beginner. And another of them is creating journals. And journals are also super easy to create that any beginner like you can start selling on Amazon. And to create these journals, you want to click the video you see on your screen right now to check that out. Ciao.